Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Today we will be talking about Talha ibn Ubaid, who was the fourth companion to convert to Islam. When Talha was in the land of Basra, he was trading, and a Christian monk came up to him and told him that the last prophet was to come to Al-Haram. Talha immediately wanted to meet the prophet. On his way back, he ran into Uthman ibn Affan, who told him that Abu Bakr had started following the prophet. Talha knew that Abu Bakr and Muhammad ﷺ were trustworthy men and wouldn't follow falsehood. When he came back, he converted, and he was the fourth person to convert. When we look at Talha's life, there's three main things that we can gain from him. He was steadfast, he was brave, and he was very generous. When Talha converted, Islam was pretty new in the area, and a lot of the other people who also converted, they were looked down upon, especially Talha's mom. She was not supportive of him converting. She saw all of his good qualities. She thought that all of his good qualities were going to go to waste because he converted. In fact, she would lead groups of people to run after him and torture him because she was not proud of the decision that he made. But even so, Talha was steadfast with his religion and would not convert back. Another one of Talha's very great qualities was that he was very brave. During the Battle of Uhud, the Muslims were being defeated by the Quraysh. Talha, who was near the Prophet at the time, saw that the Quraysh started chasing him, so he took the Prophet onto his back and started going up the mountain. Unfortunately, the Quraysh were right behind their back, so the Prophet asked, Who of these people will protect me and be my Sahabi in Jannah? Talha replied, I will. But Muhammad said, no, stay in your place and let a Ansari fight off the Quraysh for him. This kept happening numerous times where the Prophet would ask someone to help, and the Ansari would go and fight the Quraysh for him until the Ansari would die. It came to the point where one of the Quraysh got close enough and actually hit the Prophet. Talha tried to block him off, but in the process his hand was paralyzed. Talha kept fighting off the Quraysh and carrying the Prophet at the same time. By the time the battle was done, Talha had 70 battle wounds. Until this day, people see the Battle of Uhud as Talha's day because he was so brave and was able to protect the Prophet in a way that the others couldn't. He was also given the nickname the Living Martyr for his bravery. Talha was also a very wealthy merchant, and because of this he was very generous. He would constantly give to the poor without having to be asked. In one instance, a man came up to him and claimed to be his relative and asked Talha for money. Talha didn't even question if he was actually related to him, but he told him that he had a plot of land, and would the man like the land or for him to sell the land and give him the money instead. The man asked for the money, so Talha sold the land for 300,000 and gave all of that money to the man. Talha was also very worried that he wasn't doing enough with his wealth. So one day him and the Sahabi put wealth into many different bags and gave them out to the Ansari who needed the money. When we look at Talha's life, we can see that he was steadfast, brave, and generous. We may not be in the same position as Talha, but we can apply his characteristics to our lives. We can be steadfast with our deen. We might not be being chased and punished for joining Islam, but maybe we're in public and we're afraid to pray because we think people will stare at us. We should still be steadfast with our deen because we're not praying for the people, we're praying for Allah. And on the day of judgment, we'll be rewarded for our good deeds. We can also be generous like Talha. We might not have a lot of wealth, but what we can do is we can give with our time. Generosity doesn't only come with wealth. We can give by doing community service or doing a favor for a friend who will really appreciate it in the end. And you will get good deeds for all of your good actions. Alright. Inshallah, we can continue to learn from Talha's life. He wasn't chosen to be those promised paradise just at random. He was chosen because he had these qualities that not only benefited himself, but benefited those around him. Inshallah, we continue to learn from him and the other companions of the Prophet. Inshallah, wassalamu alaikum.